I missed this, I guess, almost a week ago on Club Random because I never watch anything of Club Random. Don't watch that show, but occasionally some clips come by our way. Bill Maher is talking with Henry Winkler. Henry Winkler, of course, was the Fonz on Happy Days. He was also on The Lords of Flatbush. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, guys. Worth, having a view of what Brooklyn was like in the 1950s. He is an actor, he's a writer, and here he is with Bill Maher. And Bill Maher, apparently, is he wearing for a completely non-religious guy, this guy is really trying on his Pope hat.
Minister, are we allowed to talk about that?
Of course, you can talk about anything. That's what I love about this.
I really think that he knows if, God forbid,
Pause
he
it for a
steps
second.
down.
I'm sorry. He's talking about Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Obviously, let's just go back a little bit. Coming in the word minister does not help us.
See,
Yeah.
Oh.
What about their prime minister? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Of course, you can talk about anything. That's what I love about this.
I really think that he knows if, God forbid, he steps down or the war is over, he's in jail.
I mean, that's possible, and we hear that a lot. I mean, it's
I
interesting.
believe it to my core.
Yeah, well, you don't know that could be the case. You don't know what's in a person's heart. Whether that's true or not, you can still be supportive of the decisions he's making, which I am.
Okay.
It's very naive, I think, that this could go any other way.
Right.
And any other country in the world would not be expected to act any differently. If you
Pause
get
it
attacked,
for a second. The idea that this relentless killing would be justified if anybody else was engaging in it is just absurd. In fact, the whole world, as evidenced by the UN and international law, has said that they've been engaging in an occupation for decades. And that is, the charitable view. There is an argument that they have been engaging in an occupation since 1948. But at the very least, if you're going to go by the UN, or maybe he doesn't recognize the UN. Maybe when he just says the whole world, he's just like making up, I don't know what. But if you're going to go by the UN, which did give Israel a mandate, they also said that they're an occupying force. And there are laws, actually, about, what people can do for resistance, whether you agree with them or not. But the idea that any country would do this, I'm sorry. Give me a break. We have seen, we've seen attacks that have taken place in countries in Europe and this and that. We don't see mass invasions in that respect.
Okay.
It's very naive, I think, that this could go any other way.
Right.
And any other country in the world would not be expected to act any differently. If you get attacked, you get to fight back. And the war doesn't end when you start fighting back, which they always want with Israel.
Pause it also, just keep it up. The funny part is like how he has to pause when he says, you get to fight back. Because it's really, it's a slaughter.
What you're saying is true. However, I think that, there are parents, there are families that are hurting because the hostages are not.
Yes, and it's the job of a statesman and a leader and a prime minister to think long term and not just short term. Like if they don't eliminate Hamas,
they're not going to eliminate Hamas. Hamas is an idea, not a group of people.
That's a bullshit thing.
It's not bullshit.
Well, let me tell you something. They've said that for years. I just read, I think, Sam Harris on this, and he said,
okay.
Okay, great.
I like
love Sam. Great. I'm glad we both do.
Yeah.
And he said this thing we've heard a lot of times, you can't kill an idea. He said, well, we did after World War II.
until now.
We did kill a lot of Japanese, and that was unfortunate.
Right.
But I mean, if you do kill enough lunatics, and Japan was led by lunatics,
Right.
Died of the last person, and a lot of suicide bombing and all that. Very similar to what we see with radical Muslims.
Right.
Suicide bombing, cult of martyrdom.
Right.
Okay, so Japan became our good friend. So let's not pretend that you can't actually get to the root of this. It is difficult.
I'm not pretending.
No.
I
but
truly believe
No,
that in
you will
this
not-
particular case,
you will not-
You don't think that all those people that are now homeless and their families are destroyed, you don't think that they are now
I think you have to make
Hamas
calculation.
again?
Of course, absolutely. That is going to happen. You are also
So
recruiting.
you want to kill
we're
every human being?
No. Is that what I said?
No, but I think it is what you were leading to.
No, it is certainly not what I'm leading to. What I'm saying
If we
is,
kill enough of them, we're going to end Hamas.
I didn't say that either.
I think you did.
No, I didn't. You
Okay.
said it.
You want to play it back?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say
I
that.
did not say if you kill enough of them, that the Hamas is
No,
over.
what I said was the idea that you can't kill an idea.
Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I was objecting to.
Right.
And I was quoting Sam talking
Right.
about the fact that
You
after
know, World War II, we
II,
did not kill Nazism.
yeah, we did.
We
Except
for like a moment. It's back almost in every country.
back in a tiny fringe.
Oh.
I mean, if you expect perfection, you're.
Well, pause it for
I
one
don't
second.
expect
Now, at some other time, Bill Maher is going like, anti-Semitism is rampant.
Exactly, yeah.
But, one of the ways that you kill the idea that we need liberation is to liberate people. But the idea that and somehow there is a number of people that you can kill where all of a sudden they're just going to go, okay, we no longer care about being in an open air prison. We no longer care about being subjected to occupation. I mean, this has been the plan of Israel all along. It's psychotic, incidentally. And Sam Harris is nowhere even remotely close to being an expert on any of these things
Crazy
that he
that you
pretends
mentioned.
to. This is the guy, incidentally, again, literally wrote in defense of torture because of some hypothetical thing that he made up, and which incidentally was also a crappy hypothetical because it was so isolated in the implications of and nothing is that isolated. But go ahead. I mean, I love the fact that Henry Winkler is actually just destroying Bill Maher here.
And leading Maher to what he won't say, which
Exactly.
is we just need to kill a bunch of people.
I mean, if you expect perfection,
I don't expect it perfection.
Well, then it's a silly argument.
I believe. Well, that's not true.
Well,
but
it
I
is.
believe that we are going to experience another Kristallnacht, and could very well experience it here.
Well, there's a lot of anti-Semitism, and that comes from people like Hamas.
Yeah, I see.
So, I mean, again, when you're a leader, you have to think long term.
Right.
If you don't know, they prosecuted this
hostages.
war for 11 months, as we're recording this in September
Right.
of 2024. So they're at the final stage. They're in the South. Yes, there are probably still, 80, 90 hostages left.
Right, 100.
It's horrible to think
Right.
of the situation they've been in, and if we can't get
So
them
in
out.
other words-
Again, if I could just finish.
Yes, go right ahead.
You have to think in terms of long-term and numbers. Like those 100 people, we wouldn't want anyone to die, but what if we let Hamas off the hook and then it gets worse and 10,000 die? That's how.
10,000.
Well, in the future. In other words, if they are able to stage more attacks.
I see.
If
10,000 more Israelis.
You've gone this far for 11 months. And my question to people who have this argument is always, Do you know what's going on really underneath Gaza and all the tunnels and how close they are?
I do not know.
I don't either. But you know who does know? The Israeli Defense Force. Now, are they
do
perfect?
they?
Absolutely.
Do they? Have we seen evidence of that?
Of the reason, just
Of how well they know about this? I mean, if they really knew that much, would it really take them 11 months? I mean, really?
I've seen some CGI things that haven't quite panned out, but
This is
Probably
just
not.
so twisted. He is so twisted.
yeah.
Does know the Israeli Defense Force. Now, are they perfect? Absolutely not. But again, they're not the ones purposely killing civilians. They try not to kill civilians.
Pause
And you
it.
can't understand
There is
that.
absolutely no evidence for that assertion. We have seen reporting from Israel on their rules of engagement. We see the sheer numbers.
Types
We
of
know
bombs.
that dropping 2,000-pound bombs on tents is going to kill civilians. So the idea that they try not to kill civilians, that's just simply not true. I mean, I don't even think you could say like they try and minimize the deaths of civilians. I mean, he's already used an example.
Right.
He has cited an example for the entire basis of his argument is literally the explicit and deliberate killing of hundreds of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of civilians.
To send a message about their ideas.
That, I mean, he's literally, his entire argument is based on that premise. This myth of the most moral army is only propagated by people who don't have any basis on which to make this assessment. The International Criminal Court of Justice, the prosecutors are on record of saying that Israel has intimidated. We've read the reporting from The Guardian from 972 Mag. Why would you do that? I mean, it's absurd. This relentless sort of propaganda about how this is a unique military. Go ahead.
Purposely killing civilians. They try not to kill civilians. If you can't understand that difference morally, then you're very morally confused.
Are you watching the same footage I'm watching?
You think they are trying to kill civilians?
I think that it is indiscriminate.
That's what war is.
Okay.
War becomes that. There is no war you can name that didn't. Sherman burned Atlanta to the ground, and it wasn't just the military people he was killing. It's a shame, but again, there's a very simple solution to this. Stop attacking Israel.
Right.
Jews used to know this.
Right. Okay.
Still love you.
I love you.
Okay.
I have no
glad we can
judgment
talk.
about your point of view.
Great. And I not of yours.
I disagree a little bit with what you're saying.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't
Fidgeting with
think
cigars.
that the head of Israel at this moment is a soulful human being.
That may be true too. I didn't say he wasn't, and I didn't say even that he might not be doing what you suggested he might be doing. What I was saying is, even if those things are true, it could also be true that this is the correct policy, which I believe it is. I think you've gone 11 months to do this.
I love the fact that he's saying like Jews used to believe. Oh, really? Unbelievable. He is just horrible.
I mean, he was literally saying the same thing about invading Iraq after 9/11. Like, we need to do this to show how powerful we are. Oh, and he supported Vietnam in the 90s. So yeah, this is Bill Maher.
Ramona Frankenstein, snipers are shooting children, Bill. Regular shoe Mike, I feel like Weinstein's thinking process works like a Who's on First skit. That's true. Buckets and buckets. Sam, why aren't you taking debates on Gaza? Why am I not? I'm happy to call in. I'm not taking debates on anything. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.